Have you ever met someone and all you can think is that it? Someone so painfully one-dimensional, so unbearably uninteresting, that you wonder why you even hang out with them? I have. His name? Kenshi Tomochika. Alright, hear me out. If you're new here, my name is Giru, and I've been playing a lot of Persona games over the past couple of years. I know I'm a little bit late to the party. Persona games have been out since, the early 2000s, and I'm just now getting into them in the past few years, but I've been really enjoying them. I'm actually a really big fan of reading tarot, and I also really like reading Carl Jung and his psychology of the unconscious and personas and anima and everything like that. So that has a lot to do with Atlas's development of Persona. So if you're interested in that, I would definitely recommend reading up on it. But I wanted to talk to you today about probably one of my least favorite parts of Persona 3, which is some of the social links in Persona 3. So what are social links? If you're new to the Persona series, social links are a gameplay mechanic related to the friends that you make in-game, but they're also related to the arcana that are associated with each persona that you collect in combat. These arcana are the 12 major arcana of the traditional Rider-Smith-Waite tarot, plus an extra one or two that Atlas likes to throw in if they're feeling creative. This mechanic first appeared in Persona 3 as a function to boost XP in both your relationships and when you fuse personas in the Velvet Room, but it became more fleshed out later on in 4 and 5. There are a few things that I noticed were pretty different about Persona 3 Fez's social links. The first thing is, there is no voice acting. None whatsoever. And I'm streaming these games, so I'm reading. I did really start to miss the voice acting from Persona 4 and 5 social links, because even though it was just rank 1 and rank 9 or 10, it really brought to life that character and helped flesh out their story and made me feel more immersed in that character as a part of the entire world. Because I think one of the biggest appeals of Persona to me is that not only do we have this big conspiracy that we're trying to fight and combat with our friends in each story, but we're also learning more about our friends too, and that makes this 100+ hours of gameplay way more engaging and interesting to me. So while I don't think the voice acting was the worst thing to lose from the social links, I do really miss it, and I'm looking forward and hoping that there is going to be more fleshed out social link voice acting in Persona 3 Reload, which is coming out in February, if you didn't know. The social links in this game are also really hard to find and initiate. Some of them flew totally under my radar. I was not aware of Maiko, the little girl at the shrine. I didn't know you could have a social link with her. And there's another social link that you initiate through Maiko, Akinari, that I will never have the chance to do because I had no idea and I'm already at the end of the game. And Chihiro literally shows up in Persona 4 whenever you go on your school trip, and I didn't even know where to find her in this game. I had no fucking clue. There's a lot of things in Persona 3 that really, unless you're talking to every single NPC, you're gonna miss them. So if you start this game for the first time, please talk to every single NPC if you're a completionist. Otherwise, you're gonna have to New Game Plus it. The other thing that confused me about this game is that there are no social links with your male teammates unless you're playing the female main character route, specifically in Persona 3 Portable. Since I'm playing Persona 3 Fez, I didn't even have that option, but it doesn't matter because I didn't even know, and I was worried the whole time that I was just missing out on hanging out with Junpei or Akihiko, but turns out if you don't want to kiss them, then you can't hang out with them. I think this is really a shame because one of my favorite parts of Persona 4 and 5 specifically was getting to know my teammates and having my teammate stories fleshed out, because that really defines their motives. And I know that in Persona 3 you are shown everybody's story kind of involuntarily through visual novel, but I really wish that I could have initiated a deeper connection with my male teammates, just because they're already really good characters and I don't see any harm in investing in more story for them. Another thing that is super different than 4 and 5 is that you can actually reverse or break your social links. I did accidentally do this to Yukari by canceling plans with her, but I didn't know. I didn't know that it would piss her off, and I really wanted to hang out with my girlfriend Yuko. I mean, look at her. It can be kind of annoying to try and repair these relationships, and also a waste of time if you manage to fuck up in the process of repairing it as well. So I would just recommend not picking the most egregiously wrong answers or canceling plans on people. Don't make my mistakes. Also, unrelated, but why can you romance Ken? I'm playing Fez, so I can't romance Ken, but why is that even an option? He's 12 and like 3.5 feet tall. I don't get it. All in all, it's the first game in the series that even has the social link mechanic, so I'm not surprised that it's not as fleshed out, but I will say going from 4 and 5 to 3 is not the most fulfilling as far as social links go. Okay, so without further ado, let's pick up where we started in this video, and let's talk about Kenji Tomochika. Kenji is one of your classmates and one of the first available social links when you start the game. His main shtick is that he's in unrequited love with one of your teachers, Miss Kano, but he's delusional and he thinks that she actually likes him back. The thing that I really don't like about this story, besides the fact that it's about a horny teenage boy, and I was never one of those, so can't relate, is that you get negative results if you call him out on his delusions. Like, am I just supposed to enable my friend for being in an illicit relationship with an adult? Oh wait, I forgot that's like Persona's favorite thing to do. The fact that there's no opportunity to criticize this delusion means that there's no real meaningful opportunity to stir any sort of character development in Kenji in a way that incorporates the protagonist, aka you, the player, into that story, which I think is one of the big appeals about the social links, right? Is that you are able to be a part of someone else's story in the world. You basically just have to witness him go through the consequences of his actions without really feeling like a part of the story or his life at all. He just assumes you're his bestie from the get-go, which doesn't really hold any water when you barely know him and he doesn't listen to you. But I don't know. Maybe on second thought, that really does contribute to Kenji as a character. Honestly, whatever joke there is here about a teenager being thirsty over a teacher and a little too overconfident about his chances with her, it doesn't really land with me because Persona tends to have a pattern of actual teacher-student relationships in the games that are gone pretty uncriticized by the narrative, and I'm not a huge fan of them. I don't think that we should be normalizing relationships between minors and teachers. It's really inappropriate, and I hope we don't get another one whenever Persona 6 comes out. My next least favorite social link is the Gourmet King. You need to leave! So Nozomi Sumetsu, aka the Gourmet King, is a so-called food critic that you actually learn about through your social link with Kenji Tomochika. And this social link, luckily, is shoved into your face, so if you just see this guy sitting around at Polonia Mall and you're like, oh, there's another NPC, you won't miss him because somebody tells you about him actually. You actually need to have rank 3 charm and answer his questions correctly in order to initiate his social link. So he's got a little bit of a standard. He's a little bit higher brow than Kenji. I will say for this social link, there is a little bit more backstory revealed to you as you move through the story. Nozomi actually had a fraternal twin brother who died of food poisoning, and he actually admits he was relieved when his brother died because he didn't feel like he could measure up to him. There's a lot I could say about Nozomi. He's in a cult. He's a scammer. He talks about paradise where all of the cult members will go when the world ends. And if you played the game before, you probably know which cult he's talking about. The thing that's kind of annoying about Nozomi as a character is that despite his sense of attachment to this cult, he actually has no sense of conviction. The main character has to stand up for him multiple times throughout his story. He even has to defend him from hired thugs who were called because he scammed someone's child out of their lunch money. I can sympathize with Nozomi a bit though. He does obviously have an inferiority complex when it comes to his brother, and it's also very apparent to me that he suffers from what resembles binge eating disorder, but because this is the 2000s and he is a young boy, instead of it being taken seriously, it's just like, haha, he's fat, rather than it really going anywhere with the fact that his brother died of food poisoning and he binge eats. Come on, Atlas. This could be good. This could mean something. Overall, it was a pretty unpleasant experience leveling up this social link. I hated the eating noises. The eating noises were unpleasant, did not enjoy them, and I did not end up liking the Gourmet King by the end of his social link, so. Alright everybody, dear viewer, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. The final, the most egregious social link in Persona 3 Fez. Can you guess what I'm gonna say? Have you guessed yet? Alright, I'll tell you. Maya! I fucking hate Maya. Maya is actually the screen name of a character that you meet in the MMO Innocent Sin Online, which is a game that you receive a copy of from Junpei. After Junpei gives you this game, you can spend Sundays and holidays on the MMO the entire day, mind you. But there is something a little bit funny, a little bit quirky that you learn about Maya during the social link. You know how I said Persona has a tendency of student-teacher relationships and making it not weird? Yeah. Maya's your teacher. She's actually your homeroom teacher. One of the first characters you meet in the game, Isako Toriumi. Although, we'll just call her Miss Toriumi from now on. She starts out by complaining about, like, innocuous things that I feel like any person would complain about in a chat room online. Work sucking, being jealous of your coworkers. You know, nothing crazy. Parents wanting you to get married and you haven't met anybody. I feel like that's normal. I feel like that's, you know, nothing to judge you by. However, after you find out that she is a teacher, which, once again, you don't know that she's your teacher yet, you just know she's a teacher, she admits to having a crush on one of her students. So, already, not a great sign, kind of a red flag, but okay, whatever, we're already in this thing. What does she have to say? Oh, he just transferred this year? Both of his parents died? You want to comfort him? She's talking about us. The way that she fawns over us is gross. Like, the fact that you're admitting to this at all online, why would you incriminate yourself, you criminal? But also, I don't want to hear it. Why is this happening to me? I know, again, this game was made in the 2000s and maybe this was like more normalized, but it's 2023 and I'm not gonna normalize it. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, it's from the 2000s, that's why it's like that. No, I'm going to gag violently on screen. I'm gonna freak out. Insert clip. I'm kind of interested in someone from school. He's kind of a teenager that—
bombastic side eye.
The other thing is, she is not for the girls, okay? She is super jealous of another teacher at school named Miss Onishi. She complains that she stuffs her bra. First of all, you're an adult woman, who cares? And then she describes to us that she makes her breasts bigger the normal way by massaging them in the shower and drinking lots of milk.
So good and tasty?
That definitely scarred me. At the end of the social link, when it's announced that the MMO is actually going to go out of service and you'll no longer be able to log on to it, she decides that she's going to send a copy of all of your chat messages to the devs in order to convince them not to shut down the game. She says, if they can see that they brought us together like this, then there's no way they can shut down the game.
Ciao. Anyway, so...
Did you forget that you admitted to having a crush on a minor in our chat logs? When she ultimately decides not to send these rants, you'd think maybe, oh, she remembered that she was talking about having a crush on a 16-year-old. No, she thought it made her look bad because she was complaining about work.
What the hell? Oh my god!
Hello? During the scripting of this video, I found out there's actually an epilogue to Maya's social link that you can initiate by going into the faculty office after maxing the hermit social link. Unfortunately, I don't think this actually gives her a shot at redemption because she feels ashamed at first, and then she tries to ask you out on a date again. So there's probably some character development here. Maybe there's something notable that somebody got out of this social link, but me, I just think it's too gross for me to even want to care. I don't want to give this character the time of day anymore. I've talked about her too much already. And in conclusion, she sucks. So all in all, the social links in Persona 3 are very much different than in Persona 4 and 5. And like I said earlier, I can see how they improved this aspect of the game throughout this series, and I'm really glad that they did choose to flesh this out. Not only is it one of my favorite parts of the game, if not my favorite, but it really adds a lot in terms of not only gameplay hours, but also immersion in the world and believability of the characters and the environment that you're in. I definitely think that it is really great that they've done a lot more with that part of it. And despite my gripes about these characters, I do care for quite a few others in the game, so if you're curious to know, let me know in the comments. I would be more than willing to make you a video talking about my favorite Persona 3 social links. So what do you think? Do you agree that these characters are grating, unbearable, problematic, uninteresting, or do you think that my criticism is too harsh and that I need to relax and enjoy the game and stop thinking and taking everything so seriously? Either way, let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to know what your thoughts are. Also, who are your least favorite social links in Persona 3? I'm kind of curious. Like, I feel as though I picked some of the most disliked characters, but I'm wondering if there are any, like, other unpopular characters that I missed in making this video. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. I actually do have an entire abridged series of my Persona 3 Fez playthrough on YouTube right now, if you want to check that out. I'm also wrapping up the actual game on my Twitch channel right now at twitch.tv/xgiru, and I will definitely be playing more Persona games on my Twitch channel in the future as well. I'm going to be doing a comparison of Persona 3 Fez versus Persona 3 Reload, since Reload was announced like 3 weeks after I started playing Fez. So if you want to stick around for more Persona content, I would love to have you. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed the video, or dislike it if you fucking hated it. I don't care. And subscribe if you want to see more from me. I'll be around. I'm trying to be more active on YouTube. Yeah. Thanks for being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!